Do you fly model aircraft? Do you have a drone? Then look out, the police could be coming to break down your door. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding. Look at Gatwick. Look at the Gatwick Airport saga. Apparently, allegedly, there was a drone flying over the airport. Although now the police have come out and said, well, there may not have been a drone. So was there a drone or not? Well, if you watched my original video on the subject, you'll have seen that many hundreds of people chimed in the comments and said, we don't believe there is a drone. We don't believe there's a drone at all because there's no evidence of a drone. And remember, police are supposed to deal with evidence. Newspapers are supposed to deal with facts, not just suppositions or allegations. But what happened here? Someone said they saw a drone and it shut down the Gatwick Airport. Shut it down for nearly 3 days, 2.5 days or something. And we've got no evidence. And now the police are actually saying, well, there may not have been a drone. We didn't actually see one. We just heard people had said there was a drone. So hysteria struck. As soon as you mention the word drone, oh my God, people are going to die, shut down the airport. Happens a lot. Far too often. So what did they do? Well, they staked out the airport and they were looking for this drone. Apparently they couldn't find it, couldn't see it anywhere. So they went, from what the media tells us, this could be bullshit as well, I've got to admit, but it seems that some guy living not too far away who was concerned about the environment had a model helicopter and once had a drone some time ago, a little toy drone. So they rolled up at his house, arrested him and his wife, ransacked his house looking for this drone, couldn't find it. They took him off to the police station for 36 hours and grilled him and his wife. You know, why did you fly this drone over Gatwick? What were you doing? Blah, blah. Now, the guy had an ironclad alibi. He was working. He was working at the time these drone sightings were seen. And his boss tried to ring the police station and say, look, he was working for me. Let him go. I can vouch for him. The police wouldn't even answer this guy's, the boss's phone calls. They wouldn't reply to his phone calls. And the police wouldn't even check the guy's alibi for 36 hours. So what the hell was going on? And remember, this guy, he wasn't the guy. Him and his wife had nothing to do with this. The only connection was he'd put a picture of a radio-controlled helicopter up on Facebook. And apparently he was he was a member of an environmental, or shown some concern for the environment in the past. So they thought, activist with a drone, let's get him. Really seriously, if this is the calibre of policing in the UK, I would not want to live there. If the police just go off, if the best they can do is just browse Facebook to find a picture of a helicopter and then say, you're the guy, and arrest you, what does it mean for the rest of us? And this is why I'm so concerned about this whole thing of drone registration. Now, the UK authorities are going to introduce drone registration. You'll have to be a certain age and you have to register if you want to have a drone. So what would have happened? Let's just imagine that this drone register was already in place and there were perhaps 30 people around Gatwick who were registered and owned drones. Would they have all had their doors kicked in and they've been carted off to the police station and grilled because, hey, we know you've got a drone, you've registered, and you're near Gatwick, you are a prime suspect. That's the problem. This information can be so easily misused. So easy, and the police have shown they don't give a damn for the facts. They're not prepared to go and do the real investigation. They'll just arrest the closest guy and throw them into the police until someone comes and breaks down the door and vouches for them. Not good enough. And what would have happened to this poor guy and his wife if he'd decided to go off for a day hiking in the hills and there was no one around, nobody to vouch for them, nobody to give them an alibi to prove that they weren't the people that did it? They'd still be in jail. They'd probably be facing charges. They could end up 5 years in jail on trumped up charges because, hey, he flies model aircraft. He's got a radio-controlled helicopter. He must be the guy. I despair. I would not want to be a model flyer in the UK. I really wouldn't. I thought that the big problem would come from the public. You know, with the drone disrupting air traffic, all drone flyers and hence model flyers would be tarred with this brush and you're evil people and the public would be right against you. But no, the problem comes from the police. The police, you're number one on their hit list. If there's anything involving drones, anyone that's got a model aircraft or a model helicopter or a drone, they're going to come looking for you. They're going to come. You better have an alibi or you could be in jail for 5 years. It's unbelievable. It is unacceptable, totally. So looking back at this, what have we learned from the whole Gatwick saga? Well, first of all, we've learned that the police, the military, CAA, the airport authority don't have a clue. They really don't have a clue. And if this really was a drone, and we've got no evidence to say there was ever a drone there, they're incapable, totally unprepared for dealing with it. Now, I did my aerial SWAT team video, in which I suggested that drone community groups band together and form an aerial SWAT team and offer their services to people like the police and the military and the aviation authorities. And to their credit, to their very big credit, I give them 2 thumbs up. FPV-UK did that. They put a page up on their website saying, we're ready to come and help you out if you need us. Now, as far as I'm aware, the authorities never contacted FPV-UK. They still haven't. They haven't said, well, in future, we might want to call it. No, because this, I guess they want to be seen to be in control. And if you have to go to a private organisation, a private group of enthusiasts, you're not in control. So they would rather tell you lies and say, we've got this under control, when in fact, they don't have a damn clue, and they proved it absolutely beyond any shred of a doubt with the Gatwick incident. They couldn't even tell if there was a drone there. And now the police are saying, well, there may not have been one. So these authorities, if anyone does intend to use a drone to disrupt air traffic, all the authorities have proven that, hey, you can do it because we can't catch you, because we don't even know if you're there. So bad form. They really do need to work with groups of model flyers, of drone flyers, to get an effective solution to this problem. But they're not. Their noses are out of joint. They're not going to lower themselves to the level. It's unacceptable. They'll just go around to your place if you're on the drone register and arrest you. I can't believe that. People in the UK, model flyers in the UK, this has reached a point now where you really have to do something. You can't just sit around on your backsides and go, it'll be all right. Because if you do, and there's a drone incident somewhere near you, they're going to come and break your bloody door down, arrest you and your wife, take you off to prison until you can prove that it wasn't you. Remember, the supposition of innocence has long disappeared in our legal systems. Used to be, you are assumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now, you're assumed to be guilty unless you can prove otherwise. That is not the way to run a legal system or a justice system. But that's the way things have increasingly changed in modern society, in the modern world. So you better make sure you get an alibi for everywhere you go. And that is one reason. But if there is a drone registration introduced into this country, into New Zealand, I will not be registering. They can arrest me for flying unregistered and cart me off to jail, do whatever makes them feel good, but I will not be registering. I will not want to be on an offenders, because effectively it becomes an offenders list. It becomes like the sexual offenders list. Oh, you're tarnished. You've got a drone. We're going to keep a list of you people, and when things happen, we'll come around and no. Bugger it. I've been flying radio control models safely without injuring people, without damaging property for over half a century. I am not about to change, am I? So why should I have to register now just because some idiot somewhere might do something crazy? Do not punish the innocent for the crimes of the guilty. And what we've also learned from this incident is not just that the authorities don't have a clue, but that the media cannot be trusted at all, ever. Now, I know a lot about the whole drone side of things, and a lot of you people do too. So that is why people very quickly popped up on the comments in my last video, or my first video on this subject, and said, this is not right. Something's being covered up. This smells. Where's the evidence, right? We knew that something wasn't right. Because this drone's been flying for 3 or 4 hours, the media was telling us, well, really seriously? And then they had a drone expert on the BBC, I think, who said, this drone must be modified because most drones will only fly for 30 minutes. How the hell do you modify a drone to fly for 4 hours? I'd love to see someone modify a standard multi-rotor drone and fly it for 4 hours. You can't modify beyond the laws of physics. And at the moment, our battery technology is not good enough to give us that kind of flight time. So we knew there was a lot of bullshit involved here, right? But the media are portraying they're publishing pictures of drones from Gatwick. Oh, it must be true. Even though the police now say, we never saw anything and there may not have been a drone. Where did those pictures come from? My goodness. Of course, people make stuff up. The Daily Mail pays for your video. So naturally, someone's going to get a video of a drone somewhere, send it in and say, look, I took this at Gatwick. And the Daily Mail will pay the money. And people will click on the stories and they'll make money from advertising. That's the way it works. Remember, the news media is no longer the trusted fourth estate as it used to be. It is now just a money-making organisation. If they have to tell you lies to get your eyes on their web pages and advertisers' messages, they'll do it. They have lied. The Daily Mail is probably one of the worst. I mean, I think everyone around the world knows it's just full of crap. But it published a story saying that here's drones over Gatwick and pictures of drones in the air and so forth. And then when they arrested the wrong people, now the Daily Mail's basically pillorying the police, saying they had no evidence there was even a drone. And yet the Daily Mail was presenting its own evidence there was a drone, so you can't trust a media like that. And then we get even the mainstream media. I've contacted so many mainstream media, BBC and CNN and all the other major news publishers. I've said, look, let's have some balance. Please put some balance in this Gatwick story. You've just been saying there is a drone or drones, that they're menacing the airport and that all this is going on. I said, please get some comment from the drone community, the groups that represent drone flyers, and get some balance. No, they're not interested, because that would calm the fires a little bit. If people got a balanced story, then they can see both sides. No, we just want to inflame this whole thing. We want the world to be outraged by these drone flyers, wrecking people's Christmas travel plans. They're not interested in the facts. They're not interested in the truth. They're just interested in coming up with headlines and stories that sensationalize things to the extent you can't help but click on that link or watch that TV broadcast or listen to that radio broadcast or buy that newspaper. It is just a business. The truth, there's a war going on. There's a war going on in the media. And as we all know, the first casualty of war is truth. And that's exactly what's happened at Gatwick. The media has lied bold-faced to us about what was going on. And we have, well, the average great unwashed people have just soaked it up and, oh, yes, yes, yes. So they vilified the drone community when, as the police have said, there might not have even been a drone. So, but we're sitting by doing nothing. We're sitting on our backsides just accepting this. And if you just, for evil to triumph requires only the good men do nothing. And at the moment, the drone community is doing nothing apart from FPV-UK, who did put up that thing, fantastic. I'm going to try and get that into the mainstream media. I'm going to say, look, why aren't you reporting on this? These people are doing something positive. The community is out there backing the public's right to use the airports and things, and you're not reporting it. So we need to really get on to that. In fact, I'd say if you're watching this video, go to the BBC and say, why aren't you putting balance in your story? Why aren't you talking to, did you know that FPV-UK are willing to come in and help? I want everyone to go to the BBC's website, find the contact link and say, look what FPV-UK are doing. Why are you not reporting this as a positive thing? And if there are enough people email in, maybe they will report it. I don't know. But we've really got to twist the media's arm because they're just sitting back doing nothing except pitching us a whole lot of bullshit. And that worries me because I know about drones. I know when I'm being fed a line of bullshit by the media when it comes to stories on drones. But most of the public don't. And so what happens, though, in areas of politics where I don't have an in-depth knowledge, areas of conflict in the Middle East, I don't have an in-depth knowledge. Are we being equally as bullshitted to there? Are we being deceived? Are we being fed fiction as fact? We don't know, but the chances are we are. We don't. Our view of the world is shaped by the mainstream media, and they're distorting it in the name of revenues and profits. Not good enough. We need to wake up to this now and realise that, well, maybe we shouldn't be listening to the media. Maybe we don't subscribe to that news channel. Maybe we don't buy that newspaper. Maybe we don't use that news website because it's just full of crap. In fact, if you watched the first video I did on this and read the comments, you'd have been much more informed than any of the media outlets, any of the stuff the media outlets, because a lot of the people who watched the video and hundreds of people left comments saying, this isn't right. The facts don't add up. And now the police are saying, well, there might not have even been a drone. So work it out for yourself, folks. These people are just chasing a buck. And at least when you have a video like this, I'm being as honest as I can be. And if I'm not sure of something, I say, I believe, or possibly, or, this is the allegation. I'm not presenting fact that is just supposition. I will, if I'm not sure, I'll tell you. So you're getting the facts to the best of my knowledge. And that's all I can do. And of course, we have a lot of other people. The internet's a great thing. People from all over the world watch videos like this. They chime in. They've got other points of view. They've got other perspectives. They might know stuff we don't know. And therefore, we can get a much better view of things by browsing through all those comments. There you go. That's my third rant on the Gatwick incident. And I just don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I really don't. But if you're a model flyer, you can expect to have your door kicked in by the police if there's a drone incident near you and you've had a picture of your models on Facebook or some other social media. I fully expect to get my door kicked in anytime because I'm such a high profile that if there's a drone incident around here, you can bet the cops are going to come banging on my door. Oh, you fly these drones, don't you? Come along with us and bring your wife. And if you can't vouch for where you were, we're going to lock you up. It's that bad, isn't it? It really is that bad. Never mind. Thanks for watching. Hey, and a Merry Christmas to you, all you and yours. And let's hope that the new year brings much better press coverage of drones. Remember, key points. No one has ever been killed by the recreational use of a multi-rotor drone in the entire life of these devices, which is now over a decade. Really, they're that dangerous. And also, you're at more risk of being seriously injured by a falling meteorite than a recreational multi-rotor drone. The facts prove that. There you go. And the university study out of the USA showed that there is the risk of one death every 400 years from a drone colliding with a manned aircraft. These are the facts. This is the science. It's not the hysteria. There's such a big gap between the hysteria and the facts, isn't there? And that's why we never trust the media. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.